Hi, I'm Mark. This is my December review for Scorpio Sun sign and Scorpio rising. This month we start with Neptune going direct. And if you remember, Neptune went retrograde back in June. And if you worked with that energy, you'll be able to gain the benefit of it now. The lessons were to develop high morals in love relationships and also to develop compassion for children. Now, if you have a planet at 20 degrees Pisces or Virgo or around that sort of area, or Gemini and Sagittarius, around that area, then you'll feel the intensity of Mercury's change and going direct. Going direct in your 5th house means your imagination will be fired up. Also, your creativity will start to flow again. And with the aspect of Mercury in that 5th house, you will also find that relationships and the spiritual side of things will start to come into play more. On the 4th we have new moon, solar eclipse. This is a total eclipse, but it's only visible in the lower bottom half of the southern hemisphere. This eclipse is in Sagittarius and it's in your 2nd house. Now, the eclipse is part of the Saros 5 South series, which brings good news and happy events, so there's good things to look forward to, and the effect of this can last some months. Now, in Sagittarius, it's about being bold, being brave, taking risks, and pushing yourself forward, ready to grow. This could be rapid change coming along now. And the 2nd house is focused on finances. It's focused on budgeting and planning and maybe inventing new ways of making money. And also it's about your worth and what you value. Maybe a good time to overhaul your value system, see what you really put store into, what you need to let go of. So in the 5th and the 10th, Mars is very active. Now Mars is your co-ruler, is in your 1st house and sign of Scorpio. So this is an ideal placement for you. And the first aspects he makes on the 5th is to Pluto, your ruler. So these two work very, very well together. This is a time, if you can harness this energy, you're going to achieve a lot. And on the 6th, Mars makes an aspect to Jupiter, who's in your 4th house. So you can direct some of this energy towards the home and maybe make improvements there. On the 7th, there may be a little blip to the Mars energy continuing forward because the Sun makes an opposition to the Black Moon Lilith. Now the Black Moon Lilith is in the 8th house, which is the house ruled by Scorpio. So there could be a little blip, could be to do with shared finances, could be something come up out of the shadows that you weren't aware of or had overlooked. That may be just a temporary thing that you need to fix, but the Sun will shine light and illuminate the problem so that you'll easily be able to see what needs to be done. Then on the 9th we have Venus coming together with Pluto. And this is intensity, and your mind will be absolutely engulfed in passion and intensity. Now, the only thing is with this, because it's in the 3rd house, you might have thoughts coming up of jealousy or possessiveness, so you need to just be aware of that and let them go. Now, these two will come together twice more, and I'll tell you about that in a second. The reason why these two meet again is because Venus goes retrograde on the 18th, and she'll retrograde over Pluto later on in the month, and then will go retrograde for 6 weeks before she goes forward and makes another connection with Pluto on March the 3rd. Now, while Venus is going retrograde, it's a good time to look into relationships. It's a good time to work with her energy, and the lessons to be learned while she is retrograde in the 3rd house is to develop a self-discipline and also a thoughtfulness and an awareness of other people and their needs. Now, with Venus in this position, on the 8th of January there'll be an Enlightenment Day. The Sun will meet up with Venus and shed a light on any issues or problems within relationships that you can then get to grips with and work on. It's a quieter day on the 11th. It may be that you need to reschedule any really active or physical jobs because you've got the Sun making an aspect to Neptune, and this will lower your physical energy very slightly, and you may not be up to doing a lot. But mentally it's quite a stimulating day because with Neptune being in your 5th house, your imagination will be fired up with this, and you'll be able to think up great new ideas, creative ideas. And also with Mercury making an aspect to Jupiter on day, it's certainly a good day for long-term planning and looking at the future. On the 14th, Mars has now moved into Sagittarius and your second house, so he's left your first house in Scorpio. But the second house is about finances, so this could be beneficial because you can put time and effort and energy into your financial side. But first of all, he makes a conjunction with the Moon's South Node, which means he's opposite the North Node. And when the North Node and South Node are activated, it means there's a balancing act to do. And you may feel that you've been pulled in two directions, maybe back to the past or onto the future. But the idea is to go towards the North Node and towards the future, but to use the experience and the talents you have that have been created through the South Node. So the South Node is about you and your finances and your values, so you need to be looking towards other people's values, other people's finances, and be a bit more meaningfully and careful about how you act with other people and how you take responsibility for things that they share with you. So sharing is a major thing that comes up with this aspect. Then on the 16th we have the aspect that's been the biggest aspect of the whole year. It's Saturn making a square with Uranus, and this has caused a lot of problems over the year because it's Uranus being that rebel, wanting to change things but not doing it in quite the correct manner. You see, Saturn represents structure and organisation. So you have to have creative change. It's no good trying to destroy things without having something better to put in its place. So what we need to do is to use people's better Uranian side, which is the side of originality, inventiveness, to come up with the ideas to help change, to help make creative change, and then we can all benefit from this. On the 19th we have a full moon. This full moon is in Gemini, and it's in your 8th house, which is the house of school by Scorpio. Now we have the intellect of Gemini here coming through this full moon, and it's a good time to gather information, to learn new things. But we also have the feeling side of the full moon. We have the need now to integrate the two, so use the intellect and the feelings to combine into one whole thing, so to speak. Now with the Scorpio as well, this will be a very intense moon because it's in that 8th house, so it's another time when your perception will be increased and your intuition will be fantastic. Now the other thing we have on that day is two other aspects. We have an aspect between the Sun and Jupiter. Jupiter's in that 4th house, so it's a good time to get beneficial things from the home. It's a good time to perhaps use your skills and your talents to make the home a better place. Also, we also have an aspect on that day between Mercury and Chiron. Now Chiron's in that 6th house, so this could be a time when you become a voice for people that you work with, or maybe a club that you belong with during your daily routines, and suddenly they elect you to be the voice, to put their points forward. On the 20th, it's quite a spontaneous day with Mercury making an aspect to Uranus. Uranus is in that 7th house, so you could meet new people. You could become friends with new people or acquaintances with new people. But these people will be beneficial to you because they'll be slightly different to the people you already know. And they could bring different dimension to your thinking. So they could encourage you to look at old problems in a new light. Then on the 24th, we have Mars making an aspect to Chiron. Chiron's in that 6th house. So here you can lead by example. This is within your daily routines or your work. You can set a good example. You can make changes, or you can make inroads into things that people will be saying, look, oh, he's doing this, or she's doing that. We want to do that as well. And you could get people on board very easily. On the 26th, we have a very imaginative, creative day with Mercury making an aspect to Neptune in that 5th house. It's also a great day for fantasy and for playing role-play games or computer games, and also for using your imagination for poetry or writing. you try and focus this energy because it's easily distracted when this aspect is in being. Then a couple of days later, on the 28th, we have Mars really going to town now. Mars makes a positive aspect to Saturn, and remember a little while ago we had the Mars-Saturn square, which was very frustrating and limited, but this is the opposite. This is free-flowing energy at its best, and you can really achieve now. Saturn's in that 4th house. That may be that you're working from home, or it may be that you're working on the home. Whatever you've got to do, you'll have full steam ahead. Busy day with 3 aspects on the 29th. The first is Mercury coming together with Venus going retrograde. Now, this is a good time. This is in your 3rd house. This is a good time to examine your patterns, your behaviour patterns within relationships, and see whether there's any improvements can be made. It's also a good day where you can verbalise and communicate your feelings very easily. Then also on that day we have the Sun making an aspect to Chiron. Now Chiron's in that 6th house, so this is a good time to overcome any past hurts regarding maybe your health or your body, and all in the workplace, and overcome these and then show people what your talents are and how good you are. Also, with the aspect of Jupiter on this day, we have a square to the nodes. Now, this means that both ends of the nodes will be activated, and Jupiter can help to balance. This is across the money houses, so Jupiter can use his beneficial energy to perhaps balance the money side of things, the financial side of things for you. We'll finish the month on the 31st with another very stimulating aspect, as we had Mercury making an aspect to Uranus, now the Sun does. So this is a time when not only you can discover things about other people, but you can discover things about yourself through other people. And maybe with interactions that you'll learn quite a lot on this day. It's also a great day to meet new people and also to make new discoveries. And with all that you learn, you can put this then into practice. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.